Howdy music fans, thanks so much for joining me today for Superstars of Country number 2. Today is going to be Waylon Jennings. I've been fortunate enough to see Waylon Jennings twice. I saw him in 2001 and 1995. I got to meet him in 1995. It was a little convention, or a little art center called the Weinberg Center for the Arts in Frederick, Maryland. And it was a theater, and after the show, me and my friend went around the back and waited for him to come out. He came out with Jesse and a small group of people, and nobody really approached him, but I went right up to him and told him what a great show it was, and it was nice to meet him, and asked him for an autograph, and he said, I ain't got a pen. And I took my ticket and a pen, and I stuck them in his hand, and he signed it. And then he started to get in the back of a town car or something like that, and Jesse got in before him, and he ducked his head down to get in, and somebody in the crowd yelled, "Hey, Willie!" And his head shot up out of the car, and he said, "I ain't Willie. That's your first problem." And he got in the car and drove away. That's my meeting Waylon Jennings story. And then I saw him in 2001 when he was needing to be helped on stage, and he sat through the whole show, which was a bummer, but he still played a good show. The first one in '95 was definitely better. Anyway, it was great. Okay, so let's get to it. So here we go. First, a Bear Family CD, The Restless Kid Live at JD's, which is a club in Phoenix, Arizona, where he kind of had a residency and was kicking butt down there for a while before Willie had him come up to Austin, and when he hadn't made it yet in Nashville. I'm not going to show all the booklets of these, it'll take too long, but since this is a Bear Family, I'll show that one, and some of them probably. This is at a time, I think this is after he played bass for Buddy Holly, if you didn't know that. Yeah, he played bass for Buddy Holly, and sadly he gave up his seat on that airplane to the Big Bopper, the airplane that took the lives of Ritchie Valens, Buddy Holly, and the Big Bopper. Very sad. Yeah, Waylon was supposed to be on that plane. Okay, next is an older one called The Taker/Tulsa, and it sounds like it's 2 albums on one, but it's just one. And that's some of his earlier material. I'm guessing this is late 60s probably. It doesn't say on there, but oh, it says 71. Okay, so I'm close. Next is Ladies Love Outlaws, which I only have from vinyl, then taped onto CD or burned onto CD. You can't find this on CD very easily, and when you do, be careful. This just happened to me because there's a compilation called Ladies Love Outlaws, which is not this album. This album is a great album. It has Never Been to Spain, Ladies Love Outlaws, Sure Didn't Take 'Em Long, which I cover on my Quarantine Sessions playlist on my channel, Delta Dawn, Frisco Depot, lots of good stuff. Under Your Spell Again, the Buck Owens tune. And then I also put A Man Called Hoss on here, and I'm going to get to that later. Okay, keep going here. Now we get into the beginnings of his real the sound he's known for. Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. This is early 70s. This has that song, Freedom to Stay, Lay It Down, Gone to Denver, Good Time Charlie's Got the Blues. So a couple of bonus tracks, Laid Back Country Picker, all great stuff. And this is when he was really getting into that Waylon Jennings outlaw country sound that he established and is so known for. That 4 on the floor bass going, and just a wonderful, wonderful sound. Great album. And then this trio of albums, which sometimes they market them like this, and these were certainly a 1, 2, 3 punch for him. You know, really great albums. This is Honky Tonk Heroes, The Ramblin Man, and Dreamin' My Dreams. And Honky Tonk Heroes is notable because it's all but one are Billy Joe Shaver songs. One of them was co-written with Waylon, sorry, and one of them is the old classic We Had It All. I believe Donnie Fritz wrote that. Let me double check that. That's an old tune that everybody has done. Donnie Fritz, yeah, We Had It All. And this is a kick-ass record. Billy Joe Shaver, it looks like that's Billy Joe Shaver, but it's not. That's actually Billy Joe Shaver right there. And the story goes that Billy Joe Shaver was sitting at what they called a guitar pull, a jam session, where they were all playing. And he played a song or two, and Waylon was there and asked him if he had any more of those, and he said, yeah, I got a whole sack of them. And Waylon said, well, I'd like to record one or some of your songs, and Billy Joe Shaver said, no problem, that'd be great, and he never heard back from him. So one day, Billy Joe Shaver just went to the studio where Waylon was recording, and as he was walking out of the studio, he came up to him and he said, you know, either you're going to record my songs or I'm going to whip your ass right here in front of God and everybody. And he's coming out, Waylon's coming out with his entourage, you know, and he's a big dude. So that wasn't a very safe bet that Billy Joe Shaver took there. But if that was a true story, it's one of those things that's the story goes. But the rest is history, as they say. He recorded this album, Honky Tonk Heroes, with all these great Billy Joe Shaver songs: Honky Tonk Heroes, Old Five and Dimers Like Me, Willie the Wandering Gypsy and Me, Low Down Freedom, Omaha, You Asked Me To, Ride Me Down Easy, Ain't No God in Mexico, and Black Rose. And then Slow Rollin' Low was a bonus track, and then You Asked Me To was the one that he co-wrote with Whalen. So great stuff, and I believe that album went gold or platinum. And that was one of the first country albums to do that. This is the Ramblin Man, which is another one just in his classic sound. He does Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers on this, but he does all these, he does a lot of, you know, great Waylon songs too. He does Amanda, which he's said in interviews as he thinks the best song he ever did. Rainy Day Women, or Rainy Day Woman, excuse me. I'm a Ramblin' Man, Cloudy Days, lots of great stuff. Oklahoma Sunshine. Some upbeat country stuff in there, very much in the Waylon sound. Dreaming My Dreams, another classic Waylon. These are all reissues with a couple of bonus tracks. They are excellent. This one has that classic, Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way? He's written a couple or a few like that. Waymore's Blues, I Recall a Gypsy Woman, I've Been a Long Time Leaving, But I'll Be a Long Time Gone. That's a fantastic song. Dreaming My Dreams Without You. Bob Wills Is Still the King. Love that song. And another, he does Ride Me Down Easy again, the Billy Joe Shaver on this one. So, and I just love that leather decor he has over his Telecaster there. It's just fantastic. This, you know, leafy, flowery type thing. I'm not sure what it is, but love it. He was one of the true badasses in country music. This Time is another one from this era. This Time, Louisiana Women, Pick Up the Tempo, Slow Rollin' Low, Billy Joe Shaver song again, which he did earlier. And then it's got some bonus tracks. He really kept on rolling in this time period with some great albums. And he stayed true to his sound. And it progressed and modernized. And, you know, of course, a lot of people, myself included, like his mid-70s stuff the best. But he did some great stuff later on, too. This one's called Waylon and Willy, and it's the one with Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys. And it's got Gold Dust Woman, the Fleetwood Mac tune. They cover it, and it is fantastic. It's got Pick Up the Tempo, which has become a staple in both of their concerts. He's done a few albums with Willy, and I've got two of them here. Don't Cuss the Fiddle is a great tune. I've got two of them, and the third one I probably will get eventually if I can find it inexpensively, but it's not my favorite. I have listened to it. I think I had it on vinyl a long time ago. Now we got some live recordings that are, I believe, all legit. Set list, the very best of Waylon Jennings Live, and that's a bunch of classic recordings from different eras. These are all from different dates. You know, theme from Dukes of Hazzard, Are You Ready for the Country, the Neil Young tune. I've Always Been Crazy, Bob Wills Is Still the King, Are You Sure Hank Done It This Way, Lukenbach, Texas. These are, looks like, all from 84 and 83, and some of them, a lot of them from June 15th, 84, and then a couple of them from October 14th, 83. So only a couple different actual shows. And one of them I have a bootleg of. I just realized, oh, there's one from 2000, Can't You See, the Marshall Tucker Band song. So anyway, yeah, I have a bootleg from this. Now that I'm looking at it, I just realized that. So it's nice to have the real one. It's not the whole show. I think the bootleg is the whole show, and it's not very good. It's from a radio broadcast, but still not great. Next one, legendary radio broadcast, Waylon Jennings Live 75. This is just one of those things that, being a Whalen fanatic, I gotta have these. And here's another one, Turn Back the Years, live in Dallas, 75. Real classic time for him. One of his, you know, right there in the heart of his wheelhouse for his sound. Whalen Live, the expanded edition. Now this is something that was released when he was, you know, those are all later releases, but this is something that's he released as an album, and they reissued as a double album with all these bonus tracks, and it is phenomenal. It is just incredible. I believe the Bob Wills Is Still the King on that earlier album, that's where this is from. The one, I think it's on Dreaming My Dreams. I think, because it's a live version on that as well. It's the only live song on the album. But anyway, if you want to get some live Waylon, I highly recommend this. I believe you can find it pretty inexpensive. Next is Old Whalen. This one has Lukenbach, Texas. If You See Me Getting Smaller, Lucille, Sweet Caroline, I Think I'm Gonna Kill Myself, Bella the Ball. He's written a few of these. Brand New Goodbye Song, a great one of his kind of bitter, upbeat country goodbye songs, breakup songs. This is funny, but there ain't nobody laughing. Again, this is one of those, I believe it's a reissue. And boy, that picture is so cool, isn't it? Just that this one is too, but the front picture is just what a great picture and a great album cover in general. Old Whalen. Another great one. All right, this one I believe is one of the first albums like that, Honky Tonk Heroes, maybe the first country album to go gold or platinum or something like that. I believe I heard that once. The Wanted, the Outlaws, Waylon Jennings, Willie Nelson, Jessie Coulter, that's Waylon's wife, and Tom Paul Glazier. And Willie and Whalen do a bunch. They do, I think they do Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys, probably. And then the other one that they do together, it's, well, they do Honky Tonk Heroes, the Billy Joe Shaver song. Jesse and Whalen do Suspicious Minds on here. They do, Waylon and Willy do Nowhere Road. Slow Moving Outlaws is by Waylon. I'm a Ramblin' Man, the Whalen song. Oh, Good Hearted Woman, that's the one I'm thinking of. They do both of those. So this one they do Good Hearted Woman on. A lot of great stuff on this album. And it's funny, it says Wanted the Outlaws and it has these folks, but it didn't have like, you know, Merle Haggard or Billy Joe Shaver or Chris Christopherson. And Billy Joe Shaver never gets his due. So I'm glad that Waylon did an album of his songs and more. I've Always Been Crazy. Here's another one. This is a great one too. I've Always Been Crazy. Don't y'all think this outlaw bit's done got out of hand? That is a fantastic song. So is A Long Time Ago. And again, he's still writing songs here. Not all of them. There's definitely covers on all of his. I Walk the Line is one right there. But there's usually some, you know, Waylon songs on all of his albums. Are You Ready for the Country? What Goes Around Comes Around. Are You Ready for the Country has Are You Ready for the Country, the Neil Young song. Jack of Diamonds, that old classic traditional, and MacArthur Park, and some Precious Memories, that's an old country tune that George Jones does, J.J. Cale does. Then What Goes Around Comes Around has I Ain't Living Long Like This with the Rodney Crowell song, which is fantastic. What Goes Around Comes Around. Ivory Towers on this, and that's one of my favorites. Out Among the Stars. I Got the Train Sittin' Waitin', that's another one of his, you know, classic breakup, burn, goodbye songs, you know. There's the original album cover for Are You Ready for the Country? And the other album's just called Whalen. These are hard to find. I don't, you know, if I could find them as separate albums, separate CDs, I would, but I don't know if they've even been released that way. So I'm happy to find these 2-for-1s. This is a 2-for-1. It has a song called It's All Right, and the first lines are, and he sings it in a real smoky low J.J. Cale style voice. The opening line is J.J. Cale's a hero. J.J. Cale's a hero, the best I ever heard. But you gotta sing a little louder, hoss, because I can't understand a word, or I can't hear a word. That's a great song. This is another 2-for-1 that's on Music Man, and so is Clyde, where he covers a J.J. Cale song right before that. And the other one's called Black on Black. And these were 1980 and 82. Boy, great songs on here. He does the Steely Dan cover, Do It Again. See, he does some weird covers every now and then. And then Jessie Coulter does Storms Never Last on this, which is great. Waltz Across Texas, of course, the old Ernest Tubb. Just to Satisfy You, that's the Jennings Don Bowen song, or Don Bowman, sorry. And he does that, I believe, on this with Willie. Folsom Prison Blues is on here. Gonna Write a Little Letter. We're Gonna Write a Letter. That might be the one that Scatman Crothers does as well. Anyway, oh, and the theme from Dukes of Hazzard's on the first one, Music Man. 2 more great Waylon albums. Then we get a little bit later. This is called Will the Wolf Survive? And I got this last year or the year before just to fill in my collection because I found it for a decent price. And this is one of those ones I think that's out of print and hard to find. And I remember liking it more than I expected. It looks like it could be a little cheesy, you know, but just by the font and by the picture and all, but it's actually pretty damn good. It sticks to his sound pretty well. And this was 86, so that right there is telling you, you know, who knows if this is as good as a decade ago. All right. Now we get back to that album, A Man Called Hoss. I recently found a copy of this on eBay, and the guy had or best offer on there, and he had it for I don't know how much. I don't even remember. It was a lot, over $50. I'm pretty sure. And we haggled and haggled and haggled because you can't find this one either, except for that kind of price. And I got it for I think 38 maybe or something like that, which I've only paid that kind of money for a handful, 2 or 3 CDs, 3 CDs. Less than 5 for sure. 3 that I can think of off the top of my head that were out of print, you know. But this is cool because it's called A Man Called Hoss, an autobiography by Waylon Jennings and Roger Murrah. So he co-writes all the songs, and they read like chapters. Each song is titled Chapter 1, Childhood. Littlefield is the name of the song. Chapter 2, Texas, and the name of the song is You'll Never Take Texas Out of Me. And the next one's You Went Out with Rock and Roll, and then a love song I can't sing anymore, and then If Old Hank Could Only See Us Now, which is great, a song about Lear jets and all the money they make and the jewelry and how big it's gotten and the big shows. So anyway, this is really interesting. It has a prologue where he explains how the album's going to go, and then it has 10 chapters, 10 songs that are autobiographical about his life. Very good album. Very good album. This one's called Full Circle. My favorite song on here is probably Grapes on the Vine, and How Much Is It Worth to Live in L.A. That's a great one. And he wrote, I think, about half of these songs on here. So here we're getting into 88, I think this is. That was 87. I think this is 88. And still sounding pretty good. I'll put some of these in the description. I'll put some links to some of the songs I'm talking about. And then we have one of these, Austin City Limits. Wonderful show, and they of course put out all these great CDs and CD-DVD sets and DVDs, and this is one of those sets, and this is, or not set, this is just the CD. This one, I believe, or I'll just tell you, where is it from, what year? Well, it says put out in 2006, but that's not true. It was recorded, they usually say it like pretty easily right there, somewhere where you can find it right away. 89, so this one's 89. So I've got some of these out of order because I've got one coming up that's from 84. All right, next one is Too Dumb for New York City, Too Ugly for LA, and that has got some great songs on it, like Too Dumb for New York City and Smokey on Your Front Door. Yeah, those are a couple of the great songs on this. Another pretty cool picture. And this one, there's some of these later albums, there's definitely bound to be some not great songs or some cheesier songs or sounds, but still pretty good, still going pretty strong. This one I can't say the same about because I just don't remember. This is another one like that that Will the Wolf Survive that I picked up, maybe the same store, called The Eagle, that I didn't oh no, it's not the same store, it's a different store. That I just saw it and knew I don't have it, and I'm going to fill in my collection, and it's later. And I don't remember what I thought of it. I thought I liked it, but it wasn't great, as I recall. And this is like 1990, probably. Yeah, 1990. Now, this next album is great. This is called Clean Shirt. It's Willy and Whalen together again. And they do some songs where they're talking to each other like a couple of old, farts like they do. And like they know each other so well. And one is If I Can Find a Clean Shirt. One is I Could Write a Book About You. One is Old Age and Treachery. One is Two Old Sidewinders. Guitars That Won't Stay in Tune is a great one. This is just a wonderful album, and really sounds good. I mean, it sounds, it's closer to the sound you expect from Waylon and Willy. Now he gets into his later sound. I believe this is probably something like 94. We're getting up there, maybe even the 2000s already. I don't think so, but I can't see it. But anyway, oh, there it is, 1994. Yeah, so this is Waymore's Blues Part 2. And he did a song called Waymore's Blues on an album way back, which actually J.J. Cale covered. Love the connections here with J.J. Cale and Billy Joe Shaver and Hank Williams. And this one is pretty good. He's getting into that sound, kind of a new sound, but he still has some songs that stay true to his old sound. And I'll admit I don't remember this one as well. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but it is good. It's definitely not what I'm going to recommend is if you're going to get into Whalen, get this one, but it is good. And this set off kind of a little trio of records towards the end of his career. The next one was called Right for the Time, and this one might be my favorite of the three. This one has a song called Cactus Texas, and another one called Kissing You Goodbye, which is another one of those kind of bitter, upbeat country breakup songs. And he does the boxer on this, which is funny, the Simon and Garfunkel. And Hitting the Bottle Again is a great rocker for this one. And the last one of this little trio is called Closing In on the Fire. And this one is another one where, you know, I think I like it, and I just got it when I found it recently because to fill in my collection, you know, to fill in my later Waylon CDs. I should give it a listen to again, though, soon. All right, that's getting to be a big stack of Waylon there. Now, this thing came out at some point in the last, I don't know, some years ago, not that long ago, in the last 10 years, I think, live at the U.S. Festival, probably much more recent than that, but whenever I say that, I'm like, find out when it was. It's like, oh my God, that was a long time ago. This came out in June, this is from June of '83, and I got it because it's Waylon, and it came out on a DVD as well. Shout Factory put it out, and I think they do good stuff. It's not great, sadly. It's not my favorite. It's not the best mix of a show for them. But anyways, this is from '84, and this is another Austin City Limits show. And this one is one of these deluxe things that they do where they put in both this DVD and the CD, and you can often get these cheap. And of course, sometimes these are also in the DVD box. That's great. This one is a Cracker Barrel release. They have a few things that I've picked up when I found them, and they've all been country, except for Bill Kirchen. But this one is like one of 4 or 5 of these that I've found that are just fantastic. Waylon Jennings live in concert. This is from Myrtle Beach, 1995, and you know, it's a good set. It's definitely, I like it better than that US 93, as I recall. This is much later. This is 2000 or 2001. This is 2000. This is at the Ryman, where I've been a couple times in Nashville, and this is a full. It's called Waylon Jennings and the Waymore Blues Band Never Say Die, the final concert film. And he's got guests like Montgomery Gentry and John Anderson, and of course Jesse is on there. And this is I believe it's 2 CD and 1 DVD of the whole show. And it's actually pretty dang good for so much later in his career. It's a good set and a nice package and a good sound. Boy, he still looked freaking cool, didn't he? Even with glasses and gaining weight and a trimmed beard, and he still is he's the man. Yeah, the outlaw country movement. Okay, and this last thing was released after he passed away. That's called The Last Recordings. Waylon Jennings, Going Down Rockin'. And as I recall, it's not great. It's got a few of his things that he kind of redid later. It's good. I do like it. I was happy to have it. I definitely thought for a last thing they put out of him, last effort, it was actually pretty good. And it's, you know, it's not great, but pretty good. I'm going to pause for a second, because I missed this. Waylon Jennings, The Lost Nashville Sessions. I forgot about this. I don't know if this came out after Going Down Rockin' or before. I don't recall, but this is, well, I can figure that out easily enough. This is something that was recorded like in 1970 or 71, and they put it out in 2016, it looks like, and this came out in 2012, so this did come out earlier. And this is, you know, some remakes. Only Daddy That'll Walk the Line, The Chokin' Kind. These are all songs that he's already released, but these are, it says that they are newly discovered tracks that showcase Waylon Jennings at the height of his musical career. They've been enhanced by Grammy Award-winning producer and musician Robbie Turner by adding new instruments and background voices while maintaining the pure, authentic Waylon Jennings sound. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting, and it's good as I recall. I haven't listened to it in a long time, but I do like it. And the last thing I don't have is he did something, the Old 97s did a couple songs with him, and they put out a little EP of maybe four songs, and 2 of them are with Whalen, and 2 of them are just them, and I'd like to get that. I don't have it. And finally, the Waylon Jennings box set, Nashville Rebel, which is kind of etched here, kind of like his guitar might be with that leather. This isn't leather, but it's kind of like that. It's a heavy box set, though. And here's the little lead sheet on the back that I never know what to do with, but I keep it. And then on the back, of course, his iconic Whalen logo. I have a shirt that has that, and it just says Waylon, and on the back it says Waylon and Jennings, that's who, which is kind of cool. But this is my other Whalen shirt. So we open this guy up, and the CDs are embedded right there in the package. So that's kind of cool. 4 CDs, and I got this mostly just to be as a collector thing. And there are songs on here though that I don't have anywhere else, I don't think, in my collection. So in those other CDs, it's got a pretty hefty book. I guess that's what's giving most of its weight. This is no dress rehearsal. We are professionals, and this is the big time. I've got a bumper sticker that I got at one of those shows of his that says that. So that's my Waylon Jennings collection. I do have a lot of DVDs, some legit and some from, tape from TV and stuff like that. Old TV shows and collections. And then there was a Waylon Jennings TV show, and I have some of those too, where he interviews people, and those are actually pretty cool. He has Jerry Jeff Walker on one of them, and not sure I remember who else, but I've got a few of those episodes on DVD together. Anyway, let me know what you think about Waylon Jennings, and please check out the links. I'll put some links to some of my favorite Whalen songs down there, and some of the ones I talked about that are, less popular, that you might not have heard before. And if you don't know him, check him out. He was an amazing talent. Thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, please like, please comment. Love to hear your thoughts. All right, thanks. Have a good day.